What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in this video we are back to talk about the new fusion that is probably going to drop this weekend. Yes, based on my tracking spreadsheet, it seems like this is going to be the case, and we're going to take a look at previous fusions and see if they were worth your time or not, because it's Valentine's month, right? And I'm expecting something thematical to show up, right? Because it's usually the case. And after that, we have the 7-year anniversary, and they want, of course, to bait us to spend our shards now, so we don't have them for the anniversary. But usually, both fusions will be important, and you'll see that from our review. Okay, so that's going to be the main topic of this video. I'm expecting the announcement of the new fusion to show up within the next 2 days or so. Today is Tuesday, so maybe even today. Unlikely, but maybe. I think it's more likely tomorrow. But yeah, I'm expecting something decent, let's say that. But before we start, just want to mention that because we have the Assassin's Creed IP going on, you can expect one of the characters being guaranteed at the end of this month. So February, end of the month, it's when you are going to probably get Edward or Basin. So keep that in mind, as it will require or soulstones or shards or anything in between that. So okay, that's gonna be it. Okay, as always, if you guys like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Raid Challenges content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so the first champion that I could find that was, how do you call it, Valentine's based. And by the way, let me show you my tracking and why I think that the fusion is coming. So we had a Titan event, right? And after that we had the Granite Door Keep, and this was for the Donatello Titan event, which was pretty much copy-paste of the Cassandra event as well. So there is a very high chance that we'll get the Granite Door Keep, and then we are going to get the event for the Augustine, and after that we're going to get another Titan event for a guaranteed character, which is going to be Edward or Basin. I'm expecting Ed to be Edward, maybe. Which one is going to be stronger, Basin or Edward? I think Edward is stronger, or I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. And after Edward, we got another fusion. So yeah, you can expect this month of February and early March to be very, very heavy in terms of content, because once again, Plarium wants you to put all kinds of traps for you to spend your shards before the anniversary. So yeah, we are going through the same cycle. We are on the 3rd week of the Titan event. It started yesterday. And we are expecting the announcement to be made tomorrow or the day after of the new fusion, and the fusion for starting on Friday. So yeah, the latest will be Monday, but it's unlikely because we already have Summon Rush event announced for Friday, and on the April fusion, on the Donatello Titan event, it was the Summon Rush for the Granite fusion, which overlapped. That's why we have this area here. So it's almost guaranteed that will be the case. Okay, let's take a look at the champions that were part of these Valentine fusions and see if they're worth your time or not. So first off, we have Rotos. He is a partner with Sifi. They have some synergies with each other. And this guy, even today, this was released 5 years ago on February of 2020. And this guy is still massive. Some people still consider him SS tier and whatever. I don't think it's the case. I think he's AS fallen off quite a lot. But you can still see that the reviews are very high. Even that, once again, he was released a long time ago. And yeah, so one of the good things that he has is that he scales off both attack and HP. And it takes multiple turns if you are one-shotting your enemies. And he also can increase his own stats. So that's going to be very solid if for any type of this champion. You can see guarantee the extra turns if this damage reduction is occurring. So it's still a great character. Is it still top meta? I would say no. Some people still say yes. But again, I think that's more a veteran cope than anything else. But if it was today, of course, this would be a great fusion. Let's move on to the next character, which is Astralon. And I think this character is not as good as Rotos. So yeah, but I'm not super familiar with him, I'm gonna be honest. The design looks okayish, I guess. But you can see from the reviews, it's nowhere near Rotos. He also has synergies with other characters, with Countess Leaks, which I'm not familiar with as well. And it seems like he's all over the place, right? Single target damage, then he removes buffs and debuffs and whatever else. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with this guy. And maybe that tells you something, right? Maybe that tells you that it's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's because he's not very good. I'm not sure if Count Leaks is here. Yeah, I'm not sure who she is, or maybe she is on a different faction. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next character. Once again, Astralon, definitely not top tier. Now, the next one we have is Karato Fox Hunter. Karato Fox Hunter. Now, this guy was given away for new players, so that tells you right away that he's probably not going to be very good, right? But even that, now they're giving good champions to new players. But yeah, you can see that he has some value for Arena and so on. He also has synergies with other champions, with Yumeko. And Yumeko, she's actually very, very good. But this guy being together with Yumeko, it's like whatever. He has a stun, he has some control, he can be useful for PvP. Block active skills, this is also nice in a few places. But again, it's not top tier compared to Rotos, and Yumeko is this one right here, which lockouts your abilities like Fabian, like Krixia. The thing is that it doesn't make sense. If she blocks your abilities, why you want Karato Fox Hunter on your team that also blocks your abilities? Doesn't make any sense, but yeah. She's definitely more interesting than Karato Fox Hunter. Even that I don't think, like, he's not total trash. He's just all over the place and doesn't do enough overall, so yeah. He needs a little bit of a rework to make him a little bit more up to date, let's say that. But he's okay for control. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next one is Oella. Oella, she is from the Sylvan Watchers. She's a little bit interesting because she can extend the buffs you have, the amount of turns, and that is super convenient for Titus teams or other teams that like to have a lot of buffs on your team, right? You might have damage dealers that do damage based on how many buffs you have and how many turns, like for example Giath, and that's gonna be good with this champion. In terms of the other abilities, I'm not super familiar with her. She has synergies with Ultan, the Shell, but I think Ultan is on a different faction. And that's something that is a little bit strange, is that some champions have synergies with champions from other factions, and you cannot use them together, so yeah. Now, she's not like SSS tier, she's like A tier. You can see that most of their value comes from Hydra and Chimera, especially with Titus and Wixwell. But yeah, also some use for Faction Wars, which is pretty decent. Everything else, not that great. So again, we have another fusion that is, let's say, mid. Let's say mid. But at least she does not rely on other champions to have like her true value, which for some of the other champions we mentioned, it might be the case. Okay, now we have the White Queen. What's her name? Ancora, right? I think it's Ancora. Nice Reverend, and she's right here. She was the fusion from 2024, so 2 years ago. And she's pretty decent. She has a speed aura, she has a revive, she has some synergies with White King Narcissus, and she actually buffs Narcissus. Narcissus is much, much better with her, when the other champions were the opposite. The other champions were better with others. She's okay, she's pretty decent. Most people say that she's not top tier anymore, but she's still pretty decent. Remove all debuffs, places a shield, applies strength, give turn meter, so she's providing like four actions of value. And yeah, her passive, I'm not super familiar with that. Fill the turn meter by 50%, so there is some interesting mechanics. She requires a lot of books, which is always nice. But yeah, I think she was a good character, right? I'm sure her reviews are great. You can see, yeah, so her reviews are great. Most of them are above 4, so she's definitely top tier compared to the other ones. Let's move on to the next champion, which is Esme the Dancer. Esme the Dancer. So she's a barbarian. She is Armand's sister, right? It doesn't say in game, but she's Armand's sister. They look pretty much the same. But she has synergies with some other guy, which is this guy here, I think. I'm not sure if this is the guy. It might not be him. It's a guy that looks like him, but it's not him. Is it that guy? Maybe it is that guy. I'm not super sure. But okay, so yeah, I'm not super familiar with her. Some people say that she's pretty decent. She has speed in all battles, which is nice. Increased accuracy, increased speed. Modo the Peel. Modo the Peel. So it's not this guy. Modo is not on this faction. So yeah, another one that has intercross factions, which is not great. I would not approve. Why you want champions on different factions? It makes no sense. It really reduces the value of the character, especially for faction wars and those cursed city nodes that require champions of the same faction. But yeah, increased accuracy, increased speed. She's going to have value for Chimera, block buffs, weaken, also nice for Hydra. And then we have increased attack on our allies for just 1 turn. And she has also some additional abilities on her passive. So again, she's decent. I would not say that she's as high as Queen and Cora, even that reviews seem to be better. But it depends on how you pair her up with other champions. Is she easier to pair up with other champions? Maybe. Isn't Cora better to pair up with other champions? Maybe as well because of the revive. And yeah, but she's very fast. As you guys can see, 113, that's pretty wild. So yeah, and then we have the last champion, I think, which was the Mad Hatter. So was this last year? I'm not sure if it was last year, but it was released around the Valentine's Day as well, because it was part of the Alice collaboration, and that's when I started playing. It was Alice, and so maybe it was in January, maybe that's the case. But this guy is busted, right? This guy is busted. He does the same that OL does, extending buffs and so on, but he also has an ally attack, which is somewhere, I think he has ally attack, no? Increases the turn meter, increases the buffs, and decreases the debuffs. That's always great. Apply the X, apply the weaken. Ally with the highest, okay, yeah, with team up attack is HP based, so you can make him very tanky. He also spreads debuffs. He has Aura in all battles, 60 accuracy. And then the passive, every 10 turns, taken by allies, heals up them and places through fear on the enemy. So, huge value. This guy is huge, right? And you take a look at the reviews and you can clearly see that they are great. Maybe in PvP they are less great. Okay, PvP defense, where you have to set up the AI properly or it's not going to work out. So, again, high valued champion. So, for the last 3 fusions or so, we had the huge value for your roster. Then we had some that were not as great, and then we had Rotos that was very good as well. So these are definitely opportunities or times of the year where Plarium tries to really bait you with your shards. And with that said, it's very, very likely that this fusion that we are going to get this month, next week or in a few days, is going to be very good as well. And unlike the Halloween fusions that usually are quite controversial, it seems that these ones are usually more consistent. But we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case or not, if it's going to be part of the new faction or not. And all of these factors will be of high relevancy when we are going to decide. But that's going to be all for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey through the fusions that we had in the past years. It seems like we are not going to be able to skip this fusion, but we're going to wait 1 day or 2 and see as they do the announcement, and hopefully it will be something exciting. If not, then skip it and save your resources for the anniversary, because that's going to be even more important. So as always, if you guys like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Raid Challenges content, and I'll catch you guys later.